Hey everybody, it's Cynthia, and I am here to give you my 5 top favorite musical TV shows in under 5 minutes. Are you ready? You've got some of them already. You're not going to believe my first one, starting at the bottom with kind of more of an honorable mention. That is The Hardy Boys. I know The Hardy Boys isn't technically a musical, but because Sean Cassidy was a teen idol and he was on his way to fame and had great musical hits, the writers started writing his musical act into the show. And there's a half a dozen episodes where Sean sings, not just little snippets, fairly long tunes. And in addition, there are 3 shows that have to do with famous musicians. There is the excellent, my favorite, Paul Williams Dracula episode two-parter. There is another two-parter devoted to the singing group Bread, remember them? And a whole nother one with Ricky Nelson playing Tony Eagle, the teen idol pop star who is marked for murder. So tons of music in the Hardy Boys. If you like pop music, it's a great show. Second, sticking with the pop music and sticking with the Cassidy theme, we have the Partridge Family. That's my number 4 on the list. Partridge Family starred David Cassidy and his stepmom Shirley Jones. They were the only 2 real singers in the group, but the show was about a musical group, and so I think every single episode has at least one musical number, sometimes 2. Sometimes the cast actually performing, where it was like the musical number was them actually like on stage, and sometimes it was more of a montagey situation. The only downside to Partridge Family music is it's a very repetitious after a while. They played a lot of the same songs over and over, big hits like I Think I Love You, Point Me in the Direction of Albuquerque. But having said that, they did a nice job of matching up some of the songs. For example, the home movie episode with Hello, Hello. Point Me in the Direction of Albuquerque is actually a very touching moment in the series. And like his brother, Sean, and prior to it, David Cassidy was hitting the road, becoming a big pop star on his own. So it was kind of a 2-for-1 for the producers of the series who got to see the show advertised every weekend with their screaming fans for David. Oh, spent too long on that one. Got to move on. Speaking of musical montages, my number, going the wrong way, 3 musical TV show is The Monkees. The Monkees, like the Partridge Family, was a made-up singing group that they created specifically for the show. But unlike the Partridge Family, most of whom couldn't actually sing, the Monkees were cast and did actually sing and play and do their own music. Very talented group of 4 guys, Davy Jones, Mike Nesmith, Mickey Dolenz, Peter Tork, together. They made really beautiful pop music uh, at first, and then they rolled into the psychedelic 60s genre music, very unusual. Some of it's kind of some heavy stuff. And again, huge hits on the pop charts, partially, I'm sure, due to the fact that they had a weekly series. It was like a weekly commercial for their music. And so every week on The Monkees, you would have, which is a sitcom, a slapstick sitcom, if you haven't seen it, and they would do a monkey romp, which was a crazy sped up montage of the Monkees usually running from some nefarious villain. And a monkey music song would play in the background with snapshots of the Monkees actually playing. The other thing they did, oh, I'm running out of time. The other thing they did is at the end of every episode, they would do, most episodes, they would actually just let the Monkees just play, and we would watch them like an early music video. I loved it. Gotta hurry, hurry, hurry. The number going the other way, 2 on my list is Glee. Glee was a fabulous new thing for television where they took kids in school and people so many of us could really relate to, and they put them in the Glee Club, so it was about singing, and then they found ways to work these super musical numbers into the show, not just singing, but great performance numbers, and they put music on television back on the map. We hadn't done it for so long, and the thing they do best was finding ways to tell a story, a really very tearjerker, heavy story, week after week after week, through music. Uh, it was delightful. And I'm over my 5 minute mark, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. My number one, I know some of you would have been Glee, but for me, my number one musical TV show is Smash. Come on, people, this is a show about a Broadway show. And to do this show, they had to basically write not one, but two Broadway shows, including all the Broadway music. And not only did they do that, they had to write in the two different styles that Broadway is known for, Broadway musicals. One is the very traditional style of storytelling and song that you hear in old school classic musicals. That's the Maryland version of Smash. And then they had the modern, more rock and roll, rock opera version of musicals. More like, again, we're doing today, where a lot of recording artists are creating their own shows. Music that sounds like it might have come from a, um, a modern musician of the era. Really so fun. The music stands on its own, excellently choreographed musical numbers, and they still managed to build a story, a really compelling, I know I love to say the word really a lot, a compelling story that hooked me so badly. And I wish the show had gone on longer because I think they had a lot more stories to tell. It still stands as one of my favorites. I listen to the soundtrack from it all the time. So that's it. That's my top 5 favorite musical TV shows. The honorable mention: Hardy Boys, The Partridge Family, Monkeys, Glee, and Smash. I know there are more out there, so why don't you tell me what your favorite musical TV shows are and why? Because if I haven't seen them, maybe I'll go check them out if you tell me to. Talk to you later.